right, so this is going to be a two-part video. In this first part, I just want to talk about one concept that I was taught. And then in the second video, I'll talk about a second concept I was taught. So this came through a good friend of mine. Shout out to Yanna who does therapeutic artwork. And for someone like myself who doesn't necessarily know how, well, I know a little bit more now than I did before I started this therapy journey, but kind of still figuring out my way of processing emotions and feelings, no matter what they may be. I found these tools very helpful and very useful, and I just want to share with them, and hopefully they work for you. The first one is in this class that I participated in that Yanna taught. It was dealing with processing feelings of sorrow and grief, and then also hopefulness or happiness. And it was a pretty simple prompt where we spent, like, I think maybe 10 to 15 minutes thinking about things that you know, that you might be grieving or have sorrow for. And we had, you know, whatever you had available, pens, papers, paint, whatever, it don't matter. And you just freely draw whatever. It's not like you're trying to make anything, but you just getting that emotion out. So if it's just, you know, random paint stripes or markings on the paper in different colors, if it's even, you know, taking the paintbrush or the pencil or whatever you're using and kind of like, you know, attacking the paper with it. I know it sounds a little wild, but just hang with me. It's a way to release some of those emotions or feelings. For someone like myself who didn't necessarily know how or even want to in a more verbal way or more clinical or standard way of processing emotions, this is a good way to get that out. You know, because it's doing something to relieve that from your body. So spent about 15 minutes on that, and then the next 15 minutes we spent on thinking about things that make us happy, things that give us hope, and whatever that looks like to you. And then the same concept, you know, you don't have to create anything, it's just getting it out there on the piece of paper. And you know, by the time I got at the end of it, I ended up creating something. So my thing that I was thinking about that I was grieving, to be honest, at that time we were coming up on my 2-year anniversary of my dad passing away. And that was almost a go-to thing, like, well, I'm grieving that, but you know, I just didn't necessarily want to process that at the moment. So the other thing that I was kind of somewhat grieving at the time was the lack of work opportunities for me. I was kind of grieving that. So I just kind of started drawing things. And this is the final picture I came up with. Looks a little wild, I know, but these are like the theater masks, what's this one, the happy and the sad one. And I just started at first just drawing like things that look like veins, you know, and I just started drawing this weird looking body thing or whatever, and started coloring in with like different colors that like can be colors of like veins or stuff or whatever. And then I kind of etched it around with the color brown, because this is supposed to kind of look like me and how I feel, you know, kind of just like, you know. And then when I thought about the prompt of what gives you hope, I don't know. So I just put a bunch of different question marks. We're using my 2 favorite colors, orange and blue, to represent, you know, I don't know what keeps me happy or hopeful. In the sense of when it comes to my career, but in not knowing what these things are, it illuminates light. That's why I put like yellow to kind of, you know, interpret light coming from that. So the possibility to not knowing is what can bring hope, because you don't know, but it's probably, hopefully, things that I like, which is my 2 favorite colors. So, and that helped me process in a way of like how I felt in that moment about, you know, the lack of acting work and opportunity and stuff at the current moment. And that was a way to process that. Not saying there's nothing wrong with sitting down and doing it the more traditional way of like, let me process the grief verbally or whatever it is. But this is a way that if you're someone like me who doesn't necessarily always have words to process, or maybe not even want to verbally do it, this is a way to get that out. So I found this is a very, very useful tool. And, you know, I hope it's something that maybe you can try out and see if it works for you. As always, if you like any of the content shared in this video, take a moment to like the video, share the video, and leave a comment. Peace.